Hi, Ashley Allen.
Hi, Rebecca. It's so nice to be here.
So nice to have you on the Balanced, Beautiful, Abundant show. I was so honored to be your coach, and I just saw you go through so much growth. And I was watching your Instagram and like looking at pictures of you when you were a fitness competitor and like totally sick shape. And then watching you, like, this is all through your Instagram, get bigger and bigger, have the baby. And now you're 9 months out of your pregnancy and you're back in fighting shape. So I thought, wow, this would be so cool to have you on my show because there's so many young moms out there, or just maybe people out there who have a weight loss goal or a fitness goal and they have no idea how to do it. And since you've literally done it in the last 9 months, I think you have a lot to share today. So welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here and share my journey. It's definitely been a transformational journey, that's for sure. So I'm excited to share.
That is so awesome. Let me tell my listeners about you. So Ashley Allen is a certified personal trainer. She is a certified pre and postnatal fitness coach, and she is a certified nutrition specialist. She is passionate about helping moms overcome obstacles and define and reach their personal fitness goals. And then it also said in your bio that you're an IFBB Fitness Professional. So what does that stand for, and what does that mean to the listeners that might not know that?
Yeah, so IFBB stands for the International Federation of Bodybuilding. It is the most respected and well-known bodybuilding organization. To be an IFBB Fitness Professional, that means that you had to compete as an amateur and win and earn your title as pro. And as pro, you compete against the best of the best. Everyone, it's very elite. And that is what I did before I was pregnant, and I will do in the future. Right now, I am just enjoying being mom.
That is so awesome. So is this a fitness competition or a bodybuilding competition that you did?
Yeah, that's a great question. So the division I do is called fitness. It is basically a hybrid of bodybuilding and gymnastics. So I do have to go on stage and pose in a bikini and have my physique in tip-top shape.
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of that, I have to perform a routine that is choreographed with dance, gymnastics elements. It's really a dynamic routine, and we're judged on that as well. So it is really a fun division. So I do jumps and flips and everything like that. So it's really athletic, and I love it.
I had no idea there was even a competition out there that combine fitness physique with gymnastics. So that is quite the athletic feat. Wow. Were you a young gymnast growing up?
Yeah, I did gymnastics until I was in about 8th grade, and then I wanted to be a little more social. So I did competitive cheer through high school, and I loved that. And then I just kept up with my skill, and I started doing that in my early 20s. So yeah.
So what are your biggest tricks? I mean, I don't even know what they're called. Moves, stunts, like what are they called? Like what are your best?
I love doing like backflips. I mean, pretty much everything like that.
Love it. Wow.
Tumbling, everything. Yeah.
So you could just from like a dead start, even right now without training for it, just like do a backflip like in your living room.
Yeah, I could. Yep.
Wow. That is quite a level of athleticism. I love it. So when was your first time getting into fitness or athletics? Like how young were you when you started your love of exercise?
So my mom put me in dance when I was like 2 or 3.
Your mom and
yeah, but she's great. Yeah. So she put me in dance when I was really young, and then we moved to Minnesota, and I didn't do anything there. And then when we moved back here, she put me in dance again. But when I was in like 3rd grade, I just couldn't. I wanted to do cartwheels in dance class. So my mom put me in gymnastics, and I just excelled in gymnastics. I loved it. I did really well. I caught on the skill really easily. And then after years in gymnastics, I wanted to do competitive cheer. So I did competitive cheer all throughout high school, and I loved it. And then going to college, I didn't do cheer in college because where I went, I didn't have it at the time.
Where'd you go?
I went to ASU, Arizona State University,
Okay.
but for some reason they did away with the program the year I entered. So instead, I started working out at the gym. And actually, I've had a gym membership since I was 12 years old. My mom and I,
Like me.
my mom would take me to the YMCA and we would go work out and everything. So I've had a gym membership forever, but I would say in college, I really started to learn a lot more about it and then just got consistent with it too.
So you've always worked out and it's always been part of your life. Was there ever a time in your life when you were just like, I don't feel like it? Like maybe when you were pregnant, you didn't feel like going to the gym. You just kind of like got out of the routine. Did that ever happen to you, or has it been an important part of your life the whole time?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I would say I've had a bumpy road with it. And it really was in my early 20s and like my college years. My friends and I would go one day, we would do like spin and then yoga. And like, it was just like crazy, all intense at once. And then I would go like a week without working out. So there wasn't a lot of consistency there, but I was like, oh, I'm working out so hard. Why am I not seeing results? It was because I wasn't consistent and I was going way too hard when I was training, like a double spin class. Like that's just
Wow,
crazy.
that's crazy.
Yeah, and I didn't have the confidence yet to go into a weight room and with a bunch of men and go pick up a bunch of dumbbells. Like I just wasn't comfortable with that yet. So I it took me a while to where I was, and then eventually it gained the confidence, the consistency, and I was able to finally get the results that I was looking for.
That is awesome. So yeah, people, I think they're called weekend warriors, right? People who
Yeah.
like work out for 8 hours on the weekend and they're like, why
Yeah.
am I not in shape? I work out so hard. But I think consistency is one of the most important aspects of
Yeah.
lifestyle, diet, fitness. So speaking of diet, it is a 4-letter word. I don't like to diet. You learn that in my coaching program. It's all about making healthy choices. But I'm sure to get to the level of physique where you competed, you had to be on a super stringent diet. So tell us about your typical day of eating when you were training to be a fitness competitor.
So when you're training at an elite level in any sport, diet is going to be the most important thing. You don't see most professional athletes, you don't see them downing milkshakes and eating French fries. They're going to eat to fuel their bodies. And that's exactly how it was when I was training for my shows.
Yeah.
Very, very regimented. I'm not going to say I didn't have any cheat meals or anything, so I did. And they're cheat meals when you're training for shows are very, very important to program in because it allows your body to really absorb all those extra nutrients and calories to power you through. And when you're dieting for a show, I don't want people to think it's like a diet. I actually ate more when I was competing for shows than I do now because you have to fuel your body and fuel and feed your muscle in order for it to grow. So it was
How many calories would you consume in a day, and what would you actually eat while you were training? Like we're talking everything from supplements to protein shakes, like just give me your daily regimen.
Yeah. So training at that level, you train a lot. So I was training 2 to 3, sometimes 4 hours a day. Calorie wise, some days it could have gotten up to 2,500 to 3,000 calories. And I was super lean. I mean, just shredded, and I was eating that amount of calories. And food wise,
I'm sorry to interrupt, but if
yeah.
you're listening to this and you think that calorie restriction is how you're going to get in the best shape of your life, I have a nutritionist and a certified specialist in bodybuilding fitness competition saying that she was the leanest and the most shredded in her life while she was consuming the most calories. But of course, that's also because you're working out 2 to 4 hours a day. So it's also like a combination, but go on. So let's talk about what you ate first thing in the morning.
Yeah, so I always like to, I keep when I'm in that mindset of training for a show, for me, the simpler the better. So for breakfast, I just would have like eggs, oatmeal, and then for lunch, I'd have like chicken breast and rice and veggies, and kind of the same thing. I am personally not a fan of supplementation, too much supplementation, because people can over supplement. I think the best form of nutrition is going to be real whole foods. However, like if someone's having a hard time getting protein in, protein shakes, but I never really loved protein shakes while I was show prepping because it just wasn't very satisfying. So I would always just try to eat my food as much as I could.
Did you ever were you ever like, oh my God, I'm too full, I can't eat another bite, but I have to eat more to train?
Yeah, definitely. Like some days, I did carb cycling, so I would have high carb days and low carb days. And sometimes you're just like, another bite of food. But I mean, come on, like who doesn't want another bite of food?
Yeah, that's a positive problem. So I came up with this way to remember diet and fitness called H&M, not the store H&M, but hydration, nutrition, and movement. And I know you're really good about hydration because we talked about that in my coaching program. So let's talk about when you're training for a competition or just in general, how much water are you drinking a day?
Whew. So first, all of my shows ended up being like in the summertime, and I live in Arizona, and it gets 100, sometimes 120 here, and it's super dry. So when I was prepping for shows, I mean, I would definitely get in 2 gallons of water a day, and I would carry those jugs around with me.
The gallon jugs?
Yeah, gallon jugs, and I would have 2 of those a day, like for sure.
Wow.
Because it's just so hot here. And when you're working out and training, you need more water anyways. So I would drink a lot of water, and I still do. Not that much, but I still drink a lot of water.
That is awesome. I think that's an important way to bounce back into shape faster is to drink a lot of water too.
Oh, it totally is. I mean, our bodies are pretty much made of water. And if you're dealing with bloating, digestive issues, crank up that water and just see what happens. And I think a lot of people associate drinking water with like retaining water weight. That's the opposite. If you're not drinking enough water, your body is going to hang on to all the water it can. So you're going to get that water weight.
Very, very interesting. So what is your diet like? What was it like during pregnancy versus what it's like now? Did you have like any crazy cravings, like I want pickles and chocolate, or like right from McDonald's? Like, tell us about what you ate during your pregnancy.
Yeah. So, I mean, just after competing for 4 years, my diet during pregnancy, I wasn't as regimented. I couldn't meal prep. During that first trimester, if I would have, I did not eat at my house once. I had to eat out every meal. I couldn't stand the smell of anything. It was the craziest thing.
Wait a second.
So
You couldn't stand the smell of anything in your own house.
anything.
You
No,
had
I
to go out
couldn't.
for
I
every
couldn't
meal.
cook. Yeah, I literally went out to Whole Foods like 3 times a day.
Wow.
But I was survival mode, and I just, if I didn't want to eat something, I couldn't eat it. So I had to get rid of that meal prepping. So that sucked. But yeah, I just really listened to my body during pregnancy. I didn't have any cravings for bad foods. I had a food aversion to a lot of protein, so protein was hard to get in. I had a food aversion to sugar. Sugar made me feel sick, so I couldn't eat anything sugary.
That's good.
Yeah, which was great.
Yeah.
I craved a lot of fruit, and I drank a lot of like fresh pressed juice, like from juice place down the street. So I ate really, really well during pregnancy, and I just listened to my body. I wasn't like forcing myself to drink this green juice or anything. I loved it, and it made me feel so good. So I just kept doing it. And I think a lot of women focus on, that weight gain during pregnancy. And I think if they just focus more on nourishing their bodies and their baby in their body, I think they would just feel so much better, not have an anxiety about weight gain.
Did it create any anxiety because you're so used to having such a toned body when you saw your body changing and getting bigger and bigger? And of course you need a layer of fat to insulate the
Right.
baby. So what was
Yeah.
that like as far as dealing with body image issues?
So at first it was hard. I'm not gonna lie, it was hard looking in the mirror, and after, seeing myself super lean for so long, looking in the mirror to see the abs disappear, the definition disappear, it was hard at first. And then around 15 weeks I had this like epiphany, like, why am I so worried about this right now? My body is literally growing a baby. It's short term. It's not permanent. When she comes out, I can work my ass off and get my body ripped again. Like, this is so temporary. Stop worrying about it. So literally from 15 weeks and on, I didn't care. Not that I didn't care if my body gained weight or whatever, but I detached from that emotion, and detached from looking a certain way. And yeah, I had a great pregnancy.
And I met you when you were pregnant at the
Yeah, yeah.
desert last summer, and I thought you
Yeah.
looked absolutely spectacular. You were glowing.
Oh,
You made
thank you.
a big
God, that
impact.
was a year ago.
No, I've known you for a year. This is so awesome. So it's funny because you had confidence knowing that even if you gained a ton of weight during pregnancy, you knew so much about nutrition and fitness that you know how to get rid of it.
Yeah.
So a lot of moms, I don't think, have that confidence. And I think what they do is they just eat whatever they want during pregnancy because they know they're nourishing a baby, and they give in to other cravings. And they're like, well, this is like for 9 months, I'm allowed to look heavy. And then they're having a hard time losing the weight. So do you think that if you would have eaten whatever you wanted during pregnancy and gained more weight, like more fat, that didn't have to do with your nourishing your baby, that it would have been harder to drop the weight?
Oh, absolutely. I do think I had not an easier time, but I guess an easier time dropping the baby weight and getting my muscle back on, because I took such good care of my body during pregnancy. And I feel like there is this like culture around pregnancy that's just like a free pass, eat
Yes.
whatever you want, go through the drive-through, you're gonna get, this is a time to get fat. And it's like, those are the women who are struggling afterwards. They're stressed out about the weight gain, and it's because they are treating their bodies like a garbage can during their pregnancy. It should be the complete opposite. Like, you should be and in my opinion, nourishing your body, getting the nutrients to the baby, and not shoveling down ice cream and fast food. I mean, I'm not shaming anyone, but
Right, of course not.
I just, to have an easier recovery from pregnancy and healthier recovery, it would make more sense to eat healthier while you're pregnant as much as you can. And of course, enjoy treats and stuff in moderation. But yeah, just taking better care of the bodies would just help so much afterwards.
Yes. And is it true that some women can just, it's their metabolism or their genetics, they can just drop the baby weight easily? And then some women, it can take like years to drop the baby weight. Is that true? Or is it just based on their choices before, during, and after pregnancy? Because I've seen women that their body shape completely changes like forever. And then I see other women like you, and you're like back to fighting foreman, 6 months. So what is the difference in your opinion?
I mean, I don't have any hard research on me right now, but
Right.
I do feel like genetics play a key role in how we recover. I mean, if you look at your mother or your grandmother and how they recovered from pregnancy, it might be different. But it's also hard too, because a lot of factors play a key role. Like, did they work out while they were pregnant? Did they work out before they were pregnant? What was their lifestyle like before? I think all of that plays a key role in recovery from pregnancy. And let's say your mom had a bad recovery from pregnancy and your grandma had a bad recovery from pregnancy. That doesn't mean you're going to. That just means that you should put in some extra effort, eat better, move a little bit more, so that you can have a better chance of having a better recovery.
So how far into your pregnancy did you work out, and how many times a week were you working out while you were pregnant?
So I was committed to working out until like my due date, and I worked out until my due date, but my workout changed over time. I mean, at first it was kind of just my normal routine. I had to modify a little bit because I struggled with fatigue in the beginning. So I modified it a lot. But I was active, my gosh, like 5 days a week during pregnancy.
Wow.
I'm not one to just sit on the couch. So sitting on the couch, my back hurt so bad. So I had to like always be moving. But I would lift like 4 days a week, and it was, I know not every day was perfect. Some days I just had the mindset of, just go do something, anything, just continue to move. I wanted to keep up that exercise habit. So that way I would keep up with the habit after she came. So yeah, I just kept up with it. And towards the end, a lot of it was body weights. And I still have videos of myself when I was like 37, 38 weeks pushing the sled. So I really went all the way up.
That's incredible. I just really admire your dedication to fitness. It's why you're like the top 1% of 1% of humans, because you're so dedicated. And not everybody who's listening wants to be a fitness professional or a bodybuilder or even have like a bikini, ready body. They just want to feel energy and they want to feel healthy, and they don't want to feel aches and fatigue, and they just want to feel good. So what kind of diet advice or exercise advice would you tell someone who maybe they haven't worked out in years, maybe they haven't been watching what they would eat, what they're eating, and they're inspired by your wonderful example? What would you tell them about their fitness and diet, about how to just start shifting their lifestyle?
So when it comes to exercise, I feel like a lot of people do things they don't like, that they don't enjoy. Mm-hmm. So if you're getting started, I would recommend starting with something that you like. If you like mountain biking, go mountain biking. If you enjoy yoga, stick with your yoga. And then once you're good with your yoga, then you can start branching out into areas like weightlifting or a fitness class or something. If you like doing Orange Theory Fitness, do your Orange Theory Fitness. But then if you want to get more specific, then you can start weight training or resistance training. So find something you enjoy. If you like your body pump class, keep doing your body pump class. Keep it so simple until you've mastered that habit, and then you can start adding in other factors. So that is my advice for starting with fitness. And then also, if you don't know how to work the weight room and you want to really learn, hire a trainer. It's an investment and a financial investment, but that's how I learned, and that's how most people learn, is by working with a trainer. And you gain that confidence in the gym so that you can go do it on your own. But it's an investment, but I think it's a lifelong investment. So that is something that would be great for fitness. And then for nutrition, again, start with the basics. Instead of doing a whole overhaul of your kitchen, start with one thing. Maybe it's add in an extra serving of vegetables a day. Maybe it's having an extra cup of water. Maybe it's not using a whole jar of peanut butter on your toast. Like whatever it is, that used to be me. Whatever it is, start so small and then build those small habits, build that foundation, and then just build on top of it.
Like small wins, build the win after win, and celebrate your wins, guys. Like if you had an extra cup of water a day, like reward yourself, do something nice for yourself, buy something on Amazon, I know that online shopping is my weakness and my addiction, but sometimes if you're getting back into working out, buying yourself like a cute pair of leggings is motivating, and it's a reward. Like if I work out every day this week, or 5 days a week, or 3 days a week, whatever your goal is, I'm going to get myself a cute pair of leggings on Amazon. Or, if I do yoga every day this week, I'm going to get myself 2 cute little yoga blocks or whatever. Like, it doesn't have to be like, spending needless money. It can be something little, but just reward yourself like you did when you were a little kid, because we all wanted those gold stars on our report card when we were little kids. Mm-hmm. So find a way to reward yourself. So I love what you're saying about just change little things. So what is your diet now versus what it was like during pregnancy versus what it was like when you were training to be a professional fitness competitor? Like, what is a typical day in your life now of what you eat?
Yeah, so the past 9 months, so I have 9 months postpartum. So initially I did nurse, so for about 5.5 months. So my only goal then was just to keep up my milk supply. And so I just kind of ate, I listened to my body. I developed that skill of listening to your body, which was great. So I
That's a
just
huge
listened to my
skill.
body.
That
You
is,
know what?
talk
It
about
really
that.
is.
Because when people eat, when people are emotional eaters, which a lot of people are emotional eaters, they're eating because they don't want to feel whatever emotions are coming up. And I know there's a lot of emotions happening in this era that we're in. It's a very intense time period. They lose the feeling of I'm full, I'm satisfied. They don't hear that voice anymore. So it's just, when you said that, just to have the intuitive voice of this tastes good, I'm full, that is such a gift. A lot of people, when they're emotional eaters, don't have that gift. So if you need help with that, you know, both Ashley and I are here to offer support and coaching to get that voice back. But yeah, go ahead. So listening to your intuitive voice.
Yeah, and I just like establishing this trust that I again, this goes with intuitive eating. If you trust yourself enough to eat the foods that you have or that you enjoy, they're not gonna make you fat, right? So I used to have this fear of overeating, but then I would end up overeating, or I would go get frozen yogurt for no reason, and like I wouldn't enjoy it. I'd feel guilty, and it's because I didn't trust myself enough to actually enjoy the food. So it's just amazing, this trust I've established. But anyway, so I have just been eating as my body wants. I try to really prioritize the protein intake because that's going to be really important with building lean body mass or muscle. And that's kind of where I'm at right now. I really try to keep track of how much protein I am bringing in because that's important to me. And when I was nursing, I was more focused on protein, but also getting enough dietary, good, healthy fats in. So right now I'm just eating, 3 meals a day, maybe a shake if I want one or a snack or something, but just keeping it really, really simple because I'm super busy owning a business and then also having a baby. So I just need to keep my nutrition as simple as possible. And I try to limit going out to eat because that just adds up at unnecessary calories. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now. And I'm just super happy with it.
It's funny because I have never been a cook, and because of the whole COVID pandemic, I've learned how to cook at home. And just through cooking at home, I've lost weight because when you go to a restaurant, you don't know what are the ingredients. I've never been one of those people who's like, okay, how many, tablespoons of fat? How many, to me, that's so obnoxious when people do that. So I'm just like, yeah, whatever, I'll have this. So I just eat it, right? Because that's what you do at a restaurant. But when you're at home, you know every single ingredient and how much. So I totally agree. When you go out to eat, you really don't know how many calories and what it exactly is you're eating. So I think eating at home is actually a really good thing. And so a lot of people are ordering Postmates and ordering food to be delivered at home, but that's the same thing. You really don't know what's in it. So tell us what you eat in a typical day, like meal by meal. You said you're trying to watch your protein. So what do you eat these days?
So for breakfast, every single day, if I don't have this, my day just feels weird. I have Greek yogurt, just plain.
Okay.
It's a high protein source with peanut butter toast. And that is like my breakfast. I have it every single day. And like I said, if I don't have it, I feel super weird.
So is it gluten-free toast or just Ezekiel?
No, I like the Dave's Killer bread.
Yes.
Or Ezekiel, just depends on where I go.
So you know the story behind Dave's, right? He was
I do.
And so all the money that people spend on the bread, what is the cause? It helps people in prison or something?
I think doesn't it help employ ex-convicts or something? I think it's along those lines.
So yeah, I think there was a cause.
Don't quote me, but I think it has something to do with that. I listened to a podcast about it a while ago.
Awesome. So when you're eating Dave's Killer Bread, you're helping employ ex-convicts, and you're
I
getting
think, don't quote me.
we're not quoting it. We're just guessing, but we know it has some good cause and something to
Yeah.
do with the prison. So, okay.
Yeah.
So what's your next meal after the Greek yogurt and the bread?
And then I have lunch, and I usually do Trader Joe's has these really good high protein veggie patties that my husband and I like a lot. They have like 28 grams of pea protein in it. So that's been my jam lately.
We'll have to check this out. I'm a huge Trader Joe's fan.
Yeah, I am obsessed with Trader Joe's. That's like the only place we go.
Wow. Awesome.
Yeah, so I'll do that with some fresh vegetables. I love jasmine rice, so we'll usually do that.
So you eat white rice?
Yeah, white rice. I prefer white rice. Brown rice has an enzyme in it that makes me feel bloated. And I didn't realize that for the longest time. And I was eating all this brown rice and I was so bloated. And I guess some people, there's an enzyme in it that some people just can't digest. And I'm one of those people. So I've always preferred the white rice. I get enough fiber elsewhere in my diet. So I choose white rice.
Okay, so the lunch is a Trader Joe's veggie burger with some vegetables and white rice on the side. Okay, and then dinner?
And then dinner, we usually do, I've been making poke bowls lately, again, from Trader Joe's. They have this like smoked ahi tuna, and I just do a ton of like fresh vegetables. They have this really great like seaweed type sauce or a seasoning that goes on it with a bunch of fresh vegetables. I'll do lentils, and that is dinner, and it tastes fantastic. So that's what I love.
With more white rice with dinner, the poke bowl?
I usually do lentils.
Oh, and oh my God, Trader Joe's has this lentil salad in the salad section. Is that what you use? It's like a pre-prepared salad?
Oh, are you talking about the steamed lentils?
Yeah.
That come in like a box? Yeah, that's what I use. I don't make them. I buy them pre-made.
Yeah, so they're already seasoned and ready to go, and you just put them with the poke. So I'm excited to try the poke. What is it called at Trader Joe's? What's the poke called?
So it's I'll go get it. Hang on.
Show her. Yeah, listeners, she's gonna actually show us what she eats because she does not look like she's ever given birth. You can check out her Instagram. We'll give you her Instagram in a second. So that's why I'm like, okay, whatever she's eating, I'm eating. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so Trader Joe's. I feel like I'm doing an ad for Trader Joe's.
You are. We should be sponsored. Trader Joe's. Come on, give us some money.
So I like this one. This is the ahi tuna.
Okay, cool.
This one's good. And then the ahi tuna is wild caught. So if you care about that.
Nice.
And then they have smoked salmon, which is seasoned with their everything but the bagel seasoning.
Yeah.
This is farm raised, but if you care about that. But it's really good. I just like cut it up and put it in a bowl, and it's fantastic.
You put it with the lentils and some vegetables.
The lentils, and I do a ton of vegetables. So like carrots, peas, beans, cucumbers, just load it all in.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing. Do you want to put it back in the freezer so it doesn't go bad? Or
yeah. I'll be right back. Hang on.
Okay. Not that our podcast is going to go that much longer, but since she did take it out of the freezer. So if you're listening to this podcast, it is also on YouTube, so you can see what she's eating from Trader Joe's. So one more thing about your clients, when they lose motivation, when they get burned out. So one of the things that I'm focusing on helping my clients with, and the theme of this show, is how to go from feeling burned out in life to balanced, beautiful, and abundant. So when clients are experiencing burnout, like, I'm hitting a plateau. I just don't feel like going to the gym. I don't feel like working out. I don't feel like eating healthy. And they're like hitting a wall. How do you coach them through that burnout?
Yeah. So that feeling that you just described, it becomes anxiety for a lot of people. And a lot of people will get gym anxiety. They'll pull away. So I totally get that. And it happens to everyone, including myself. So what I typically do with a client, if they're feeling that way, I pull them back to the basics on everything. We go back to the basics with training, nutrition, focusing more on what we can do and not what we should do, if that makes sense. And then we just get back down to remembering what that why is. Defining that
Yes.
why you're doing something is going to be the most important thing. If you don't have a why, you're going to quit. You have to have a why, whether it's, why are you training? Is it to lower your cholesterol so you don't die? Is it like literally like if a doctor tells you to lower your cholesterol, you're at risk for death?
Yes,
So,
and diabetes and heart disease
and diabetes,
high risk. Yeah.
So literally, like if that's your why, then that's you have to remember, why are you doing this? To stay alive.
Yeah.
Is it to be healthy for your kids so you can keep up with your kids or your grandkids, whatever it is. And usually once people start to remember that why they get back, why they're sticking with it, why they're doing it, why they show up day after day after day after day, that's how they refine and reignite that motivation.
I love that. So it's all about your why. I think why is more important than how, because people can get so overwhelmed with the how. Well, how am I going to get back in shape? And how am I going to find time to work out? And how am I going to have time to like be a mom and work a job and get in shape? And the hows are so debilitating that it makes you like feel like I don't even want to try. But if you think about your why and all the reasons why you want to do it, to live longer, to feel good, to feel happy, to feel comfortable in my clothes, to be a better mom, to be a better grandparent, whatever it is, to be able to enjoy myself on vacation and not just hang out in the hotel, whatever it is, your why is everything. So I think we're going to close on that point. That is such a great point. Oh, one more question. I have to ask you, do you still allow yourself cheat days, and what are some of your favorite cheat foods to eat?
So when I am prepping for a show, depending on how my programming is, I usually have like once a week, and I call it a treat meal, not a cheat meal.
Good.
Yeah, because I don't know, I feel like the word cheat is fine, but I feel like you're like being guilty of something. So I like to use the word treat. So when I was prepping for shows, my favorite like treat meal, I loved a burger and fries. Like that was it. And a burger and fries is also going to have high protein, healthy fats, and unhealthy fats, but mostly healthy fats and carbohydrates, and your body will eat that up. So if you're having a treat meal, remember that it's still good for you. As long as you don't do it every day, your body's still going to use all those nutrients, and it tastes great. So that is my favorite treat meal.
I like to call it Fun Food Friday. So on Fun Food Friday, I can do whatever I want.
Yeah, I love that. That's great.
So real quick, since you did complete my coaching program, can you tell any of the listeners anything about my coaching program? Like what you learned, what you got out of it, what shifted for you?
Yeah, so when I took your program, I feel like I'm into this whole transition of life. Like before you have a baby, you can just do whatever you want when you want. And now I am super grateful that I get to be a mom to Savannah, but I'm a business owner. I am a competitive athlete. So I was having a hard time just finding some clarity in my life. And I feel like those 7 weeks I really learned a lot about like just being present and not being all over the place. And one thing I started doing while we were in that 7 weeks was I started doing like morning affirmations in a journal like this.
Yay.
And literally for the past 2 months, I'll show you, I've done them every day.
Beautiful.
For the past like 2 months. So Rebecca, you should be so proud.
Yeah.
And just doing that alone just helped shift my mindset so much, instead of like worrying about, what's going to happen to my business with coronavirus and like all this other stuff in my life. I was able to like focus more on the good. And it's crazy when I started doing that. You just literally start manifesting this life that you want, and you are just so much more in charge, and you're the creator of everything in your life. So that really helped me a lot. So thank you, Rebecca.
You're welcome. I love the morning ritual practice that we teach in the 7-week program that I teach you, because how you set up your day in the morning is literally going to determine the type of day you have. So I am just so happy that you were able to be one of my proud graduates, and that you're still doing the practices that you learn, and you're getting everything you want. I mean, you have a great marriage, a great baby. You're getting back in fitness fighting form. Your business is taking off. It's just so wonderful just to have you in my community of balanced, beautiful, abundant women and continue to watch you grow. And thank you so much for being on the show. And I want people to be able to keep in touch with you. So what are your social media handles? How can people find you?
Yeah, so you can find me on Instagram at Ashley Allen Fit. And then my website is ashleyallenfit.com. And yeah.
Wonderful. And you guys definitely check out her Instagram. It's so inspirational. And are you offering free fitness nutrition consultations or anything right now? Do you have anything that you want to offer the listeners?
Yeah, if you go to my website, ashleyallenfit.com/contact, you can fill out a form and we can do a free 20-minute consultation. You can tell me about what you're currently doing with your workouts or nutrition, and I can offer you some strategies to make it better so you can get to your goals.
That is wonderful. Well, Ashley, it was so great to have you on the Balanced, Beautiful, Abundant show. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening. So this is a privately funded show. Although we should have had Trader Joe's sponsor us, we do not have any sponsors. The only way we grow is by friends and family sharing this podcast. So please share, rate, subscribe, review. Get the word out there so more people can experience wonderful experts and they can learn to be balanced, beautiful, and abundant. Thank you so much, Ashley, for being on the show. You were awesome. And I can't wait to see this next chapter for you and you getting, back into the fitness competitions and raising your baby as being a fit mom and a business owner. So thanks so much, everyone. And we have another great guest next week. Thanks, Ashley.
Thank you, Rebecca.